Hey everyone, it's Brad from BrickLover18, and today we are back with another episode of Ask Brick. I believe this is the first episode of Ask Brick here in 2022, and it's a big milestone because today is also my 50th ever episode of Ask Brick. And I'm so excited. I've done this, 50 times now, and I absolutely love this series. I love getting a chance to answer your questions that you ask me in the comments of videos, answer them here on camera, and have a more intimate conversation with you, the viewers. It's been an honor to do this show for the last 50 episodes, and honestly, I can't wait for the next 50 more. And with that, I thought I'd just jump right into today and just answer some of the burning questions that have been on your mind since we last did an episode. So let's get right into it. All right, so this first question here is from David Lindy. He says, how often do you build Lego? That's a great question, and I don't have a specific answer, but I know my answer is not as much as I wish I did. I do Lego a pretty decent amount of times throughout the week, but I would say a majority of what I do with Lego involves my Bricklink store as well as my YouTube channel. Sometimes for my YouTube channel I need to build Lego, sometimes I just need to sit in front of the camera, sometimes I need to make edits to my city update, sometimes I need to make changes to my city, sometimes it's just sorting. So in terms of how often do I actually build Lego, like MOCs and stuff like that, very rarely because I just don't really have the time. Lego sets and stuff like that, I try and build whenever I have a little free time, which is also not often as of right now as I'm trying to finish up school. So I honestly, I wish, David, I had an answer for you with how often I truly did build Lego, but my answer is not nearly enough as I wish I did. I wish I was able to build Lego much more frequently. I'd love to be able to build every day, or at least sometimes twice a week, but sometimes it does come down to like once a week. So it really honestly just depends on the week, but no matter how much I build Lego, it will never ever be enough. The next question is from Solid Gaming Studio. Are you going to add the new 2022 LEGO Modular Building to your LEGO City? That is a great question, and that's one I'm going to answer, but I might as well answer that over in my LEGO City. So like I said, I want to answer this question looking at the LEGO City because I think that's the best way to explain it. As you can see, I've got a bunch of other LEGO modular buildings here, so many from over the years, all the way around my LEGO City here. I definitely plan on getting the new 2022 LEGO Modular Building. I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. But I have no idea where I'm going to put it. And that's why I haven't rushed out to buy it just yet. Because when you're seeing my LEGO room, there's not really any room for it. The only place I could add it would be as if I got rid of this park, moved this building back, and added it right there. But honestly, I kind of like the park, and I kind of like the federal building where it is. So while I do plan on getting the modular building, I do think it will, eventually find a home in my LEGO City. At this point in time, I'm not rushing out to buy it just because there's no room for it. If I had, when I think it was this set right here, the detective's office last year, there was a spot in my LEGO City that was perfect for it. So as soon as it came out, I wanted to get it pretty fast because I knew I would have a spot for it. But with this one, just because there isn't really a spot for it and I'm happy with how my LEGO City looks, I just didn't bother rushing out to go get it. Of course, there's always going to be room for renovations and stuff like that in the LEGO City, and I can move things around. But as I said, I'll get it eventually, just not in a huge rush for it. Fidget Bricks asks, Ask Brick, why did you start YouTube? Was it for your LEGO collection to share it with others, or was it for a hobby? That's a great question. I've talked about this, I believe, but I started YouTube back in 2012 because I was watching YouTubers, LEGO YouTubers, like myself now, but back then I was just watching LEGO YouTubers make content around LEGO. They were making, how-to videos, they were making reviews, room tours, stuff like that. And I thought to myself, hey, I could also do this. My first video on YouTube was literally a how-to video on how to make a rising platform. That was because I wanted to build a rising platform for a mock stage I had built, yet nobody else had made a video on how to do it, so I was left in the dark. So I found out how to do it myself, and I was like, hey, I'm going to make a video so other kids and other AFOLs, but I just figured kids at the time, who are interested in building a LEGO platform will know how. So I would honestly say I probably started YouTube not really to show my LEGO collection to others, but as a hobby. Because I was passionate about LEGO, because I wanted to show and share my love for the LEGO collection with others. Then it branched over time to, really amassing a big LEGO collection and showing that to you, the viewers, and stuff like that. But like I said, to start, I got into YouTube because I wanted to do it and because I'm like, hey, this looks like something fun that I also could do. And that's really, I think, like, I was like, hey, there's a need here. I want to fill that need. I never even thought that I would have such a massive collection one day to, do room tour, stuff like that. I didn't even have a Lego room back then. So I really just got into it for the hobby and for the love of Lego and because I wanted to be like the people I was watching on YouTube. I haven't regretted my decision to start YouTube ever, like once. It's been an amazing, amazing journey, and I'm so happy that little 12-year-old me decided, hey, that looks like a cool thing that you could also be doing. I think now somebody like me, who saw that would be like, oh, I'm not going to be as good as those YouTubers, or why would I get started? Like, it's too hard. I'm really glad that I was only 12 and just like took the plunge into it and did it. Because yeah, that would have been I would have regretted not doing that because look where it ended up. This question is from Lego Madness underscore YT. Will you be getting the new Lego Ideas Globe? I love that set. I think it's amazing. It's incredible. And I absolutely want to buy that set. I do plan on getting it at some point because I think it's incredible. I'll probably put it in my living room, not even my Lego room. A lot of the big sets like that, like the Roman Colosseum, the World Map, and a few of the other smaller sets, I actually keep not in my Lego room, but in my actual house. I use it as home decor because they're pretty awesome. I love looking at those sets and stuff like that on display. So that's honestly probably what I'll end up doing with this one as well, is putting it out there. But yeah, I absolutely love the set. I think it's brilliant. I think it's incredible. It looks like a really fun build, and I'll plan on getting that someday. A couple of brickheads asked, are the shelves behind you Billy shelves? Yes, yes they are. So let's go take a look. So yes, all of the bookshelves around my Lego room here are the IKEA Billy bookshelves. Back when I moved into my Lego studio in 2019, I believe I purchased 6 of them because I wanted a better way to display my Lego collection. In my previous room, it was shelves that were mounted to the wall, which I knew weren't going to work in a rented studio. So I went to the IKEA website and I've seen Lego YouTubers use these all the time and they look great. As you can see, they're pretty standard, they're white, they're nice and bright, and it just really displays Lego collections very nicely. So like I said, I purchased 6 of them. I put 3 on one side of the studio and used 3 as my studio backdrop, and then I actually already had one. As you can see, it's a little discolored because it's a bit older. And then a few years later, when I was still in my studio, I purchased an additional 4 just because I knew that having that many bookshelves, in my Lego room would be good. I knew I needed more space and I had a lot of walls. As you can see, now that I moved in here, I have filled 2 walls basically of the Billy bookshelves. They go all the way down this wall and all the way down this one as well. If in the future I wanted to expand, my Lego collection even more, there's still room for growth in this Lego room. I could add more Billy, right there. I could add a few, at least 2 before I cut into my camera area. And, this area here, could easily add another one here instead of the shelves I currently have. And then even at the back here around the Lego City. So there are so much room here for expansion with the Billy bookshelves. And I think that's why I love them so much. No matter when you buy them, whether it's, today or 5 years from now, they're the same bookshelf. So you can easily grow your Lego collection. It's modular. It's not like a limited edition shelf that's going to be gone in a few years. And like I said, I just love the way they look here in my Lego room. I think it gives it a very nice, clean look. And I recommend it if you're looking for shelves or anything for your Lego collection. The IKEA Billy bookshelves have never disappointed me. Tarvinder Kaur asked, Ask Brick, like last year in 2021, you had to move your Lego collection to a new space. Will you ever have to do that again in the future? That's a great question. Yes, I will have to move my Lego collection in the future, and that's mainly because I don't think I'll ever stay in one place forever, and especially because I don't own this place. I rent it, so it's a lease. I wish I owned it. So yes, I will have to move my Lego to a new space in the future because I don't think I'll stay at this apartment for the rest of my life. Eventually, I hope to get a house and stuff like that. But in the near future, at least, not looking 5+ years, my goal is to stay. I'm knocking on wood because I really want to stay in this location. I love where I am. I love that I have a Lego room and my main house. I love that my kitchen's on the other side of this camera in another room, obviously. I absolutely love the fact that I have this 2-in-1 combination that's great. I don't plan on moving anywhere in the near future, which would be ideal. Moving my collection last time was really, really difficult. It was really challenging and took months to prepare. And then it took even longer to unpack. So I genuinely don't know if I would have the energy in me to do that again because it took a lot out of me. But I really hope not to have to move my Lego in the near future because I love the space that I am. I had to move last time because my living situation changed, as well as they kept increasing my rent in the studio space, and commercial rent's not rent controlled. This residential rent is rent controlled. I know they're gonna have to do a few renovations to my unit within the next year or so, replace all the windows that are currently hidden by this bookshelf. So I know I'll be out of a Lego room for a few days, but I don't plan on moving out of this place, and I don't plan on moving into a different one anytime soon. I want to stay here. That is my goal. This last question that we're going to answer in today's episode is from Benji's Builds. Which do you prefer building? Lego sets designed by someone else, like the Lego group or another designer, or sets designed by yourself, like MOCs? That's a great question. So, in terms of what I prefer building, this is kind of a cop-out answer, but I honestly really like building both. I think it's really hard to compare building a Lego set versus building a Lego MOC. With a set, you get the pieces all together, everything that you need is there, you have your instructions, and you get to build it, and then at the end you have this beautiful display model that goes on your shelf, like all of the sets that I have here. With a MOC, however, you don't have instructions, you may not have all the pieces you want or you need, but you have a great vision. And sometimes when building MOCs, you can do things that Lego will never ever do. You can make things that Lego won't make, you can make them better, you can make them bigger, you can make them smaller, you can just genuinely do so much more. When I think of like building MOCs and stuff like that, I would say a majority of my fondest Lego memories are probably from building the MOCs though. Like when I spent in last May 2021, I rebuilt my bricks tower that's across the Lego room looking at me now. When I rebuilt that, that was days and days of building that I had I got up in the morning, drove to my studio, didn't go on my phone all day. I just built for like 10 hours straight. I would stop to get Uber Eats delivered and I would keep building. Things like that, that's a really big memory for me. Like I'll never forget, the building bricks tower and how much fun I was having. Building the Colosseum took probably the same amount of time, but it was probably a little bit less fun because I was just following the instructions, afraid about messing up, and then sometimes I did mess up and have to go back and rebuild it. So as much as I would say I definitely probably prefer building MOCs more just because it's so much more fun, so much more creative. At the same time, I couldn't choose one or the other. I wouldn't always just want to only ever build MOCs, and I wouldn't always just want to only build sets. I'd say I build sets quite a bit more than I do MOCs because to me MOCs are very special and I do them less frequently. I want to do them more, just trying to find the time to do that. And sometimes I love building sets because I build things that I would never think of, using new techniques. And then of course I get a beautiful display shelf afterwards, which is I think really important. So in terms of what I prefer building, probably MOCs, but at the same time I prefer building both of them. I love building both of them and I will continue to build both of them. That was a long-winded question, but it was a good one. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out today's episode of Ask Brick, as I said, my 50th episode ever of this series. I really appreciate you guys all asking your questions and of course, letting me do this series as the years go on. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Like I've been saying, I'm going to do these way more frequently now because I love doing them and I know you guys love watching them. So thanks again so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll see you here in the next video.